Hey, what's up? In this video, it is very unique, but we are literally going to share with you what we are doing in this moment and how to travel and eat well on a budget without feeling like because you have limited opportunities or limited options for food and drinks, how you can still stay on track with your fitness and your weight loss and your health goals, what things to look for in the stores, and how to pack beforehand so that when you're traveling, you can make sure that you have everything that you need to be prepared, or at least if you find yourself in a bind, like we did, then you know what to do to keep yourself on track.
Yeah, so the first thing is nobody likes a hungry monster, okay? And you know what? Last night, our second flight, we missed our second flight, so our trip just got longer. And I shared this with you because there's a couple of different steps that we're going to be walking you through today to really just humanize the process and help you understand that, like, it's not about having the perfect situation. It's about creating the most ideal situation with everything that you've got.
Yeah. I just want to say there's going to be a lot of intercoms going off because we are literally in the airport. So pay attention to what we're saying. It's a bit distracting, but like Sarit said, our connecting flight we missed. Our other flight got in a little bit later. Our gate was far away. We didn't make it. First time we've ever missed a connecting flight. So, okay, all of our stuff got put on that other flight. So now we don't have any of our other clothes or anything. And we also didn't pack enough food for an extra day. So airport food is limited, right? You've got different restaurants, whatever they are, that's what you get. So we want to share with you some of the things, for one, that we do before we actually leave for the airport, assuming everything goes well and according to plan, and then also what we've done in order to keep ourselves on track, even though there's not a lot of options that are super healthy. So what did we do first?
So wait, what did we have for dinner last night? So dinner last night was actually food that we brought from home. Okay, and
yeah, I want to tell them all the stuff that we use to prepare.
Oh yeah, okay, go.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of the things is we had some chicken thighs and some turkey, like whole turkey, that we brought in a Ziploc bag, super savage, and we just brought it on the plane, and Sarit's eating a freaking turkey leg on the plane like just a barbarian. And
I was telling Erin, I think it was probably one of the craziest things I've done. I'm pretty sure that half the plane was looking at me like, this bitch is crazy, tearing apart a turkey leg in her own hands out of a Ziploc bag.
With no napkin. So here's some of the stuff that we still have that we have not yet consumed. We pack, I call them nut sacks, but we pack these bags of just raw almonds. We portion them out like a 1/4 cup in each bag. We've got protein. The X Endurance is our favorite, but they no longer do the single servings. We just still have them because we had a lot. But you can also just put like scoops in Ziploc bags and use your protein there. That way, like, all you need to do is buy a water from somewhere, or even just if you have a water bottle, if you bring a water bottle like Sarit has right here, which you can get this, by the way, on shop.erinsarit.com, then you can fill that up with water. A lot of airports have water fountains, and then just like dump a protein in there. We also we packed hydro, like hydration sticks, in the case that you don't get as much water. When you're out of routine, it's a little bit more challenging to remember to get all of those things in that you normally do. And so that's all the stuff that we had before.
So yeah. Step one is plan as much as you can while you're at home so that you can be stocked up. And like, we had enough real food to carry us over through dinner. We were supposed to get to our destination last night, so going into breakfast, we don't have any real food. So step two is do the best that you can with what you've got. And for anybody who's traveled before, you know that airport food absolutely sucks.
Depends on the airport. Usually the bigger the hub, the more options there are. But, usually the options are pretty limited as far as like healthy food.
Yeah, so I find that, a lot of people say because airport food doesn't really have great food in general, it's like you're allowing yourself to give yourself some slack. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the most optimized meal that we can with what we've got. Okay, so like the restaurants around here, it's like either you can do like sandwiches, beer, or burgers. Okay.
Or breakfast burritos.
Yeah. So we're not gonna do
So
that.
it's like, how do I do the best that I can? And so things that we look for, I want to say before we like actually show fully what we found and what we ended up buying, things that we look for. Ideally, what do we look for? We were looking for hard-boiled eggs. We were looking for things that are lean protein. We were looking for fruit, lean protein,
Greek yogurt.
anything that's a whole food. Yes, like some kind of Greek yogurt.
Those would be the go-to breakfast.
String cheese
That's fine.
could be a good go-to also. Like a lot of those little stores have like little cheeses and stuff. But what we ended up getting,
because they didn't have those.
they didn't have those, and we got nuts for our fat. But
So yeah, what we got is we got protein and we got fats, and we went for the most optimal that we could find, and the ones
cleanest.
that we felt that we have control. Because here's the deal: there's so many like nut sacks out there,
Nut sacks.
and it's really easy. Like when you're outside of your own environment and outside of your own routine and all of that, to literally eat the whole thing. So like.
Or to get the ones with chocolate.
Yeah,
and
so which ones do you have most control over, and how can you get it in a way where you can control it as much as possible?
And the portion size, right? It's a good portion
so like
size.
with regards to our nuts,
So here, protein. Let's do protein first. And then I think we're gonna have to catch our flight soon. But protein, we got, this is a good brand. And you look at it, as far as ingredients goes, none of them are gonna be amazing, but you wanna get ones that have a little less ingredients in them. And so this is a good choice.
for protein, we also have our powders. Where are they at?
Yeah, I already showed them.
Oh yeah.
But those are what we packed before. These are what
Right.
we found. Epic bars are great. Good source of protein. These have ingredients: chicken, meat, sea salt, dried garlic, crushed red pepper, and like 4 other spices, right? So they're awesome. And 1 preservative, obviously. But 100 calories, 11 grams of protein in each one. Super awesome. And then we have some nuts. So what are these, raw almonds? Straight up raw almonds. And I really like cashews. I really like the roasted ones, but I try to make sure that I look at the ingredients every time to make sure the oil that they use for the roasting is the better quality one that I can find. Usually it's like canola oil or vegetable oil or sunflower oil or something like that. Sunflower oil would be the best of the 3, but it's still not ideal, but it is a better choice 100% for being in an airport.
For me, I have full control of raw almonds, and that's why I picked those. I prefer cashews, but
whole bag.
It's like, it's not just about the eating event, it's about how it helps you think going into the next eating event. So like for me, if I have a bag of cashews, just because I know myself really, really well, and I know my weaknesses, and that's why self-awareness is really important, it will allow me to, like opening up the room for like lowering my
other
standards just
justifications.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Might lead to me justifying other things as the day goes on.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why to me, I'm like, okay, how can I keep as much of my standards in line while things are more uncertain? And that's what you have to do as well. That doesn't mean that you necessarily have to get these things. We just want to show it to you so you don't even have to think about it. Because if you're like, okay, this is ENS approved, awesome. However, whether for you it's like string cheese, if that is within your standards, then awesome. For me, it's not. Okay, that's why we didn't get it.
But in saying that, like, that doesn't mean string cheese is bad.
Right.
String cheese is not a Sarit thing. I will eat string cheese. But, you know, it's, I don't remember what you were saying. Oh, it's the same concept of, like, you know, if you have something that's outside of your diet or what you're supposed to eat, or a bad food, you just kind of feel like, oh, now I just want to eat all the bad food. It's kind of the same concept. So it's really important to make sure that you're doing your best effort to stay on track while traveling, while in the airport, because especially when you're traveling, whether it's for a vacation or not, you're out of your routine and your rhythm, and so it can feel like it's easy to make justifications for things. And so if you are eating at a restaurant, things that we would look for: chicken breast, salads, dressing on the side, usually, just because we have no idea what they usually put in. Yeah, veggies and protein.
How do they cook it? Because in restaurants, they're gonna compromise the foods unless it's like a farm to table. Even then, the highest standards that you can find are at home, or very rarely when you're eating out. Because when you're eating out, what they're thinking about is, very rarely do they think about just, okay, like, how can I add the most nourishment for the client? Most of the time, it's how can I make the food taste as best as possible, which means more processing is involved.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or cooking with different oils or butters.
Yeah, things like that. So, you know, when we get our salads, we get the information with regards to the dressing, how it's made. Always get the dressing on the side so that you can control
The portion.
And identify for yourself if it's within your standards. And then, you know, veggies in it, and then protein in it. Most carbs that are in restaurants, there are, like, you know, the health conscious places will have healthy options. Most of them are not. It's just like processed breads and stuff like that. So we don't, most of the carbs that we eat when we are en route, it's probably coming from fruit, because what you see is what you get. Like breads, pastas, noodles.
We opted for lattes this morning, which means that in the almond milk, usually when it's a barista style almond milk or at some kind of coffee shop, it is not a lower calorie almond milk. And so even though, like, almond milk is still a really great quality of milk and something to use for a latte, I'm considering it a partial carb.
Yeah.
Because it is. Is it? Or more of a fat?
Well, it all depends on the ingredients. But either way, it's trace. It's just, you have to be mindful and you have to look at everything from big picture. The reason why a lot of people give up is because when they can't be perfect, they're like, oh, well, why bother?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just
so,
about
like,
doing your best.
It's about doing the best that you can with what you've got, and constantly holding yourself accountable to increasing standards is really what's going to lead to long-term success and continued success. So is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to say if like you have practiced this and you're good at preparing for travel, choosing different foods during travel, I would love to see what you do in the comments. Not for me, but for other people maybe who are looking for other ideas of what other people do. What are some good healthy things that you pack to bring to the airport when you travel, or things that you look for or get specific restaurants? Sushi's always great because you can usually get like a fish of some kind. It's a great protein. But would love to know in the comments just what are some of your go-tos for traveling that are healthy, so that other people can also have more ideas and benefit from that. But we're gonna go catch our plane. Thank you for joining us for this very unique video and for being patient with all of the noise and motion in the background. We just wanted to, it's important that you see we practice what we preach, because I think that's lacking a lot in this industry. And
also add value to you so that you really see what it looks like, because it's an outside of the ordinary situation. So
we'll see you on the next video.
bye.
Bye.